Lungs. Welcome to today's anatomy session where we explore the lungs, the essential organs of respiration. In this video, we will learn about the location and function of the lungs, their external features, apex, base, borders, and surfaces, anatomical relations of the lungs, differences between the right and left lungs, structures on the mediastinal surfaces, and the arrangement of structures at the root of the lung. Let's begin our journey into the anatomy of the lungs. The lungs, or pulmons, are the principal organs of respiration. The two lungs, right and left, are situated in the thoracic cavity, one on either side of the mediastinum, enclosed in the pleural sac. The main function of lungs is to oxygenate the blood, that is, exchange of O2 and CO2 between inspired air and blood. Each lung is large conical or pyramidal shaped, with its base resting on the diaphragm and its apex extending into the root of the neck. The right lung is larger and heavier than the left lung. The right lung weighs about 700 grams, and left lung is 650 grams. The right lung has 3 lobes and the left lung has 2 lobes. The lobes are separated by deep, prominent fissures on the surface of the lung and are supplied by 2 lobar bronchi. The lungs are attached to the trachea and heart by principal bronchi and pulmonary vessels, respectively. In the adults, the lungs are spongy in texture and crepitate on touch due to the presence of air in their alveoli. They float in water. In fetus and stillborn children, the lungs are solid and do not crepitate on touch. Due to the absence of air in their alveoli, they sink in water. External features. Each lung presents the following features: apex, base, 3 borders, anterior, posterior, and inferior. 2 surfaces, costal and medial. Apex. The apex is rounded or blunt, superior end of the lung. It extends into the root of the neck, about 3 centimeters, superior to the anterior end of the first rib, and 2.5 centimeters above the medial 1/3 of the clavicle. It is covered by cervical pleura and suprapleural membrane. Relations: anterior, subclavian artery, internal thoracic artery, and scalenus anterior. Posterior, neck of first rib and structures in front of it like ventral ramus of first thoracic nerve, first posterior intercostal artery, first posterior intercostal vein, and sympathetic chain. Base. The base is lower semilunar concave surface which rests on the dome of the diaphragm. Hence, it is also sometimes called diaphragmatic surface. Relations. On the right side, the lung is separated from the liver by the right dome of the diaphragm. And on the left side, the left lung is separated from the spleen and fundus of stomach by the left dome of the diaphragm. Borders. The borders of the lungs are as follows. Anterior border. It is thin and shorter than the posterior border. The anterior border of right lung is vertical. The anterior border of left lung presents a wide cardiac notch, which is occupied by the heart and pericardium. In this region, the heart and pericardium are uncovered by the lung. Hence, this region is responsible for an area of superficial cardiac dullness. Below the cardiac notch, it presents a tongue-shaped projection called lingula. Posterior border, it is thick and rounded. It extends from spine of C7 vertebra to the spine of T10 vertebra. Inferior border, it is semilunar in shape and separates the costal and medial surfaces. Surfaces. The surfaces of the lungs are costal and medial. Costal surface. It is large, smooth, and convex. It is covered by the costal pleura and endothoracic fascia. It is related to the lateral thoracic wall. The number of ribs related to this surface are upper 6 ribs in mid-clavicular line, upper 8 ribs in mid-axillary line. Medial surface. It is divided into 2 parts, small posterior vertebral part and large anterior mediastinal part. Structures forming right surface of mediastinum. The right mediastinal surface mainly consists of right atrium. Above the right atrium are present superior vena cava and right brachiocephalic vein. Behind these structures are present the trachea and esophagus, the azygos vein, 3 neural structures, that is, right phrenic nerve, right vagus nerve, and right sympathetic chain. The phrenic nerve runs to diaphragm, passing superficial to 3 venous structures from above downwards: superior vena cava, right atrium, and inferior vena cava. This course is in front of the root of the lung. The vagus nerve lies against the right side of the trachea and travels behind the lung root. Here it breaks up into branches to take part in the formation of posterior pulmonary plexus and esophageal plexus. The sympathetic trunk runs in the paravertebral gutter. The splanchnic nerves leave its lower half, run medially, and pierce the crura of diaphragm to reach the abdomen. Structures forming left surface of the mediastinum, the left ventricle, and aorta are the main structures forming the left surface of the mediastinum. Aorta ascends at first, arches over the left lung root, and then descends behind the lung root. 3 great vessels, brachiocephalic trunk, left common carotid artery, and left subclavian vein arise from the aortic arch and ascend up to reach the root of the neck. The esophagus, as it descends through thorax, shifts to the left behind the heart and gently crosses the line of the descending aorta. 3 neural structures: Visceal's left phrenic nerve, left vagus nerve, and left sympathetic chain. The left phrenic nerve crosses the aortic. Left side passes in front of the lung root and runs down superficial to left ventricle to reach the diaphragm. The left vagus nerve is held away from the trachea by the aortic arch. Here, it gives recurrent laryngeal branch, which hooks under the aortic arch, ascends up into the tracheoesophageal groove. Below the aortic arch, the vagus nerve runs behind the lung root and breaks up into posterior pulmonary and esophageal branches. The position of sympathetic trunk and splanchnic nerves is similar to those of the right side. Arrangement of structures in the root of the lung at the hilum. The arrangement of structures in the roots of the lungs is as follows. From before backwards, it is more or less similar on 2 sides. Pulmonary vein, superior. Pulmonary artery. Bronchus, left principal bronchus on the left side, and a parterial and hyparterial bronchus on the right side. From above downwards, it differs on 2 sides. Right side, aparterial bronchus, pulmonary artery. Hyparterial bronchus, inferior pulmonary vein. Left side, pulmonary artery, left principal bronchus, inferior pulmonary vein. And that's a wrap on the lungs. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more anatomy videos. Keep learning, and see you in the next one.